first let me pay my respect to the Samnijis and asking her to bless me with the presentation so that it carries on to you. I'm equally grateful to all the audience in such a large number. It was a nice interaction in the last August, and now again I'm here. I'll straightway go into the topic, healing our aging issues. That was the theme given to this particular workshop. If you go into this one, interest in the elderly health existed even before we were aware about that, anticipated. We are not very sure. Now, why is important and what will be our other? I have divided into the two courses, one before lunch, one before after the lunch. Issues in the aging, I'll take it in the first. And the second thing, meditation and aging, plus important portions are the practical tips. In issues of the aging, which I will be covering just now, are population aging, lifestyle changes which makes aging difficult. What are barriers to change? And why we are not changing, even if we know the fact that what can be done, the management of the aging, and after that the most important will be your question and answer. I go into the first question. This is the fact that today adds one day to yesterday, and tomorrow will add one more day to the today. So these are the facts. Same thing is, yesterday I was 1 day younger and tomorrow I will be 1 day older. So it's the eternal truth that we all age. In fact, we are master of aging. It's a MA, master of aging. And these three factors, age, gender and genes, they are not modifiable to a large extent. To a small extent, they are modifiable. And well, let us see how it. Thank you. So today, so age and gender and genes, they are largely non-modifiable. Gender cannot be changed. Age can be made better. Genes, now we also know that they can be changed with the practices. Thus, we go into the first question. I just acknowledge the knowledge which I be imparting just now has come back from the many authors, around 140 authors which have contributed to this book, which was edited by me, textbook of geriatric medicine. So first is, why should we talk about the aging? Am I audible in the last? Attitude, because there is a high regard for the youth. That is what the society teaches us. Bombarded with incentive to remain young. So you all see advertisements. They all are for to remain young. No one tells you that to remain old or to be a better old. There is no product which is available. There is no cure for aging and death. And what important is, the chronological age means 50 years is not equal to my 50 years of the biological age. If 50 years, I may look at 40, I may look at 70. So they are not synonymous. What important is, current generation of elderly, they are more aware about their attitudes, their rights to be better quality of life, QOL, quality of life. That is I'll be focusing on quality of life and not the quantity. So I will not be focusing on the chronological, I will be focusing on the. Now I'll just add one more thing. If you are got a small question in between, you can stop me, there is no problem. Welcome. So common word to describe in the past, I'm not saying present. They were slow, senile, ill, disabled, infirm. So there are so many things, mentally ill, depressed, so, and these are the detrimental factors. Why the oldest are taken into? These are because in the rural areas the problem is not big. In the urban areas, the problems are really big. Lifestyle changes I'll be talking about. Domestic violence is another thing. The elders are sometimes being violent, and this violence is not only the physical, it can be financial, it can be mental. Family bonds are reducing and social values are changing. Fortunately, we have got a positive side of the aging, which we must emphasize. They are source of continued productivity. Earlier, 60 years was the retiring age. Now even at the 75% is well versed and well contributing to the wisdoms. Experience to the younger generation can be given by the older generation only. And the quest for new learning is the new which is coming up. Earlier, after 60, there was a proverb in the Marwari, Sata, means 60 years and nothing more. But now it's not so. So we come to the what is the aging and the old age. Aging is a biological process. Every animal, every cell in the body does age. It's a slow, progressive and irreversible. Once the changes have taken place, they cannot be undone except to a small extent. Now, a damage can be slightly improved, but major improvement is not possible. It's conceived at birth and ends with the death. In many societies, elders are as a resource of the wisdom. And in modern society, situation is different. However, our younger generation is now tolerating or having their better view of the aging. So we go to the hard facts now. What is population aging? It means the 65 plus is taken by the World Health Organization WHO as the cutoff age for the aging. So any person beyond 65 is taken as an aged person or the elderly. And they are increasing in number. We'll be seeing later. Average age of population is also getting older. When India was freedom, it was around 48 years. Now we are around 71 or 72 years. So average age of the population is increasing, and so also the number of, and ratio of older, that is more important. Ratio of older to younger persons is increasing. You can see the diagram at the below. This is in 2000. India, if you look into 3 to 7.9, most of the Russia and the Europe, they are more than 30. So they were already developed and they are, but look at the projected at 2030, will be around 12 to 40 per thousand. 14%, 12 to 14% of the elderly will be there in our country. But if you look into this one, they are already, and from this 12, they will be going to the 13 or more, 15 or 20%. So the percentage of the elderly, they are increasing. That is most important. So we have to look into, and these problems were not there earlier. Earlier the elderly were not in such a large number. And this you look into the diagram. These are the those which are age 5 and more, 5, and those are which are more than 65. Now earlier in the 1950, those with the age 5, they were more, and the elderly were very less. The average age was around 40, 48 or 47. But now it is going up and up, and by 2050, the younger will be less and the older will be more. That's perhaps the reason that we must talk of issues which are coming up now. Even if you look into the family, our older family photos were like this one. Elderly in the center and all the all the trees around it. And these were the, say, the granddaughter enjoying the grandparents. But now, if you look into, this will be the photo in the most of the, in our houses, this will be the photo. 2 or 3 kids and the parents. Maybe 1 kid and the parents. But what is more important, we must achieve this one, that the younger people are looking after the older, younger people are happy with the older. So, yes, please.
I would like to make one comment just to be aware of it, is that these figures relate to India aging and not really to the European population.
No, this is around the world, sir. This is the total world. Average around the world.
Yeah, but then there is such a difference between Indian population aging.
I'll be coming to this point later. I'll be coming to this point later. Now, this is the way it answers your, this is the total world, 2002, 2025 and 2015. This is the developing countries, including the India, and this is the developing countries like Europe and USA or the England. Look into this one. The number of the people, elderly people, yellow, they are going to increase in the developing. So the brunt will be by the developing countries. And the developed countries, there is hardly any difference in the power. Though the total population which will be increasing, the majority contribution will be by the developing countries. Because these are the countries where not only the aged will be increasing, the younger will be decreasing, and the healthcare is going to improve. So the overall picture at the 2025, that 2/3 will be elderly of the world will be in the developing countries. So the resources, knowledge, and all the problems, they'll be answered by the developing countries and not by the developed countries. You have seen in the UK, already they have answered all the questions. They have already established a machinery for how to deal with the aged. But developing countries, we have to develop an answer, which will not be prototype of what we see in the UK. Because finances, the overall population, the social conditions, there are so many things we will be talking later. Now I come to the reasons. Lifestyle changes, the second portion of my talk. One is the diet. It is not only the quantity, quality, and the which we are eating. In fact, look into the nature. No animal eats when he is not hungry, except human being. You are correct. Except we who eat at length. Even when I am totally satiated and you offer me something which is either because of taste or because of the grace, I accept it. Ye to chalega. That's a common phrase which you use. And even if you don't accept it, it will be taken as if I have insulted you. So these are the attitudes have to be changed. So the quantity and quality, I'll be talking little more. Physical activity, we are going into the low. This is not only the physical activity like running. You may have a 20 minutes or 40 minutes running. But now look into this one. When I'm talking, my hands can move like this one. Or I can be talking like this one. So even while doing some activity, maybe writing, maybe talking, maybe communicating, my whole body should work. So physical activity, now we are more rigid to the certain parameters. If I am sitting in the chair, I am not only sitting in the chair, my whole body movements are getting less. So these are the important things. The second point, mental activity is high. I will be talking this later, but the results are poor. Sleep depth, another important point. Because of the light, artificial light, the blinds which are used on the windows, we kept on sleeping for a longer period and keep on getting awake for a longer period. So unhealthy atmosphere, chemical poisoning. You see the lot many preservatives, lot many additives, they are being added to our body daily. And so also the electromagnetic. You have seen, heard, but though not proved that the vibrations coming from the mobile. And not only, there are around 150 mobiles right now. So they all are contributing to me, not only to myself only with my mobile, but all 150 mobiles are charging this environment. This is the one portion, but there are many things. Even the signal tower is also constituting the mobile electromagnetic. So there is a big thing. So how well we can tackle it? By improving our daily routine, food habits, dressing sense, habit formations, natural lifestyle, and lifestyle management. So these are the things we'll be talking later. But before that, I'll tell you that whole body ages. It's not only the one. If you look into the dementia, I just devised a small definition that the brain, dementia you must be knowing by everyone, brain and the body, they are like husband and wife. They both work together for a long period in the life. Then one leaves and the other remains. If body leaves early, means then it's all right. The brain also leaves. But if brain leaves early, then it's a dementia. Your body is intact, but brain has gone. So the brain is the one, because it controls all the activities. Brain is one of the very important organs. But body, heart and lungs, you all know the ischemic heart disease, blood pressure, diabetes, they come at this way. My bronchial asthma, COPD, they all come at the now only. So the reserve of the brain and the heart also goes down. Unstable posture, kidney and bladder, urine formation is ineffective, and we go many times the maturation. Body weight and body fat, I will come in the last. Musculoskeletal, again I will be coming in this. So the first is brain, because this is the center of orchestra. It is the master of the orchestra, which controls all body functions. And it has to be looked into because of the sleep cycle. Neuronal loss occurs throughout the life. This is mainly in the gray matter. Gray matter is the thinking, and the white matter is the conduction. It is like a generator and the electric wiring. The white matter is electric wiring, the gray matter is a generator. Because of the decreased dopamine, which is again you may be knowing this drug for the Parkinson's disease, the muscle rigidity increases, they decrease, step height decreases, reaction. I will not go into the musculoskeletal because this is immediately affect you. Sarcopenia, sarco means muscles, penia means less muscle mass and less contractile force. Even with the muscle mass which is there, my contractile muscles, they are not as strong as Dr. Sunil's. So, increased fatigue and the risk of falling. This we all know that elderly they tend to trip. Affect all the muscles, whether respiratory, GI tract, constipations, very common in the old age. Visual acuity, cataract, macular degenerations, dark adaptations. Now suddenly light goes off. As younger I used to see till the last, I will not be able to do now. Peripheral visions, auditory, hearing is defective. But here I always say, this might be a boon given to me by nature. Because if I don't listen, I don't react. So this may be boon to the why God has given to me. So all the things which are deteriorating should not be taken as curse. They may be a boon for us. Same thing for the smell. And this was what I was saying, the weight and the body. Look into this on the belt here. belt goes up and goes because we are not able to hold. The lower body gets bigger and bigger, and the upper body gets weaker and weaker. So we are not able to hold it. Now we come to the, having told you about the problem, we come to the solutions. Little consensus of the successful aging. How to quantify, qualify, or describe this successful aging? Even the word over, we are not being able to conclude what is successful aging. Second important is, it is a positive connotation. It's not a negative connotation. Like freedom from the disease and disability was the earlier connotation. WHO definition in 1950 puts a good health, freedom from the disease and disability. But now, high cognitive and physical functioning is the added later on in the around 80s or 90s. And the latest addition was social and productive engagement. That is where most important, these last two are important. Freedom from disease and disability largely have been achieved in the UK even, but not these two. They are just going nearer to this one, but social and productive engagement. Social, I'm not saying the financial or the business, but social engagements, they are little still poor. So how will you manage all these issues?
Can you, sorry, just amplify on social engagement, please, sorry. What do you
Yeah.
mean by social engagement?
Social engagement means like doing the social job. Example, like I saw one morning when I came, many of the people who were in the older age group, they were putting on the chairs. See, they were helping someone. What is our immediate impression? That I must help a older person to cross the road. But why can't we expect an older person to help another older person? So these are the social engagements. While they are till now they were on the receiving end. Older people were at the receiving end. Means the charity is being done and they receive it. But now we say no. The second important social is that earlier, if you go into the model which we are there, the elderly people will be sitting on a reception only. And the whole work will be done by whole interaction will be done by the middle-aged person or the younger person. But now the current model says no. It is not only limited to the reception, it should be the whole. Older people will always sit on the outside of the house or outside of your residence. So these are and they were not interacting with the same thing is that isolated. Social means you are not isolated. You are part of the team. That is the work. So we go into the management of the BP, diabetes, BMI. So these are the good health habits. I'm not going to talk into this one, not in the topic today. But what important is, physical inactivity must be looked into. In my practice, I always say to the patients, because they are mostly Hindi speaking, अपनी चेयर से और अपने बेड से दुश्मनी कर. Then only you can. Because once I am sitting in the chair, my hands and my legs move little. And once I am standing, my hands and legs move like this. So automatically, so अपनी chair, so similarly I say, there is nothing like bad tea. Bad tea is a BAD. You must have it on the garden chair. So bad tea is not a, so similarly, so physical activity is more, smoking, tobacco, these are the already known. Now dietary, behavioral and pharmacological interventions, they have been identified. Dietary we'll be talking today, behavioral little bit, pharmacological no today. And social support. This is the where it will answer some of your things is here. Is important for successful aging. Researchers said older people staying with family are better adjusted than those who are in the institutional. That's why I said the UK has not achieved that one. They have achieved a good institutionalization. They have achieved a good health care, but they have not achieved this portion, the social support. Second thing, psychological support. Third is the emotional support. Why don't we develop a habit that we inculcate the things in our children, that adopt a parent, like we say adopt a child, adopt a parent, adopt a grandparent. So these are the promoted geriatric health and schemes like adopt a grandparents. So everyone will, but what important is that this should not be a one-way phenomenon. Support should not be one way, that I only support the adults or the elderly. Elderly should also be ready to support me when I need, and that will be the same as a little now materialistic words. We must talk of the legal and the financial arrangements. You must have your goodwill and advance directive. Your brain may not support you, your body may not support you in the later part of life. So you advanced directives are now in the vogue, at least in the UK. USA they are vogue, in India it's not so. But we must write advanced directive. Yes, I want to have the ventilator at the end. I don't want to have the ventilator. I don't want to have the hospitalization. Or these are, and who will be, because at that time I may not have the person to execute my will. So I must say, he will be doing my will. My wish, he will be doing this. The second thing is financial. How will you spend your money during life? And how do you expect it to be after your life? Both the points should be very clear. Now, mind you, these all points which I till now talked, they are not limited to the people who are beyond 65 or 60. They are equally valid for people who are 30. Whether they being social, being financial, being legal, they all are valid for the people who are even 30s or 20s. So we must develop or inculcate the habit of how to age gracefully. So the longer lifespan, more healthy years are added, or year of illness and dependency. Now that is we have to decide. Whether we have added a healthy years or we have added years of illness or that we have to decide. Prevention and postponement of disease and disability and maintenance of the health, mobility and independence is the goal or is a challenge which we must accept. Before I close this portion, future potentials, individual development of, or uplift of oneself is crucial. No one else is going to uplift you. Then it is support. But if you uplift, it's an active. That is where you have to achieve. Meditation can be used to prevent cure individual community. I'll be talking in the second portion. Meditation with modern medicine applied to the aging and many disorders. So these are the points. But another important, which will be the science is now looking into, the gene manipulations. Can we manipulate the genes? See, each time the 25,000 genes with 3 billion letters, the DNA, longevity runs in the family. That is where the thought comes to the science. It runs in the family. It means there's something in the genes. So DNA suffers million of damage per day. But equally important is the repair. That is where important. That the damage is not the only thing, 3 million damage, but it is the repair which is there per day. So can we augment this repair? Maintenance, what we call as maintenance, can be augmented. Now I come to that one, and now the important portion is yours.
Basically, it's a question and answer session.
What do you exactly mean by uplifting?
Which one?
Previous
Uplifting.
slide. Previous slide.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Individual development to uplift oneself.
It's thoughts related.
It's a physical, mental, social, financial, everything. It's not the mono.
But your friends and social group can help you, isn't it? It's not entirely the individual.
It can help you to depend on them.
Yeah.
You have to, the second point which I told you, help doesn't mean support. Support is a passive thing. That I financially support you, I physically support you, I mentally support you, I emotionally support you, but that is a one way. It should be the two way. When I support him, I must get back something from him to be more meaningful.
I think there is a Gita slok about this one, that your Atma is your own friend, you are your own friend, or you are your own enemy. So if you are your own friend, you are uplifting yourself.
Yes.
If you are your own enemy, then you are downgrading yourself.
That's what is the negative aspect and the positive aspect. How you assimilate and how you effectively implement it. That is quite correct.
I would like to add one important incident. Acharya Sri Mahapragya ji went to see old sadhvis, and old sadhvis are 90, 95 and 98, and some are bedridden, and Gurudev was saying them that okay, you should do something, like those who can do work sitting, they can do patra, those who can do something, they can do like sitting or sleeping, whatever they can do. Then one amazing thing that you should not stop doing yogasana. And I was thinking, what they are bedridden, they can't do. Then the next sentence, what you can do, just visualize that asana. Mentally do. If you can't move, some sadhvis, they are paralyzed and sleeping. Then Achashi said, okay, you can raise your hand this much, but you can't raise this much. But try to see in your mental television that you are raising your hand, you are spreading the clothes, you are doing palavana, you are using your yoga and all these things, what you used to do, just visualize. And amazing thing, few sadhvis reported that after this visualization, some of them started doing their own work and they are not depending on other young sadhvis. So this was really a very important lesson, that how much you can do, you do, but you try to visualize what you used to do sometime, and that helped, because that visualization is stronger, because it works on your mental level, on your subconscious level. Suppose you visualize yourself doing yogasana or doing that work which you stopped, and again maybe you can start. Thank you.
I'll be talking to this one later in the second portion. The meditation is basically a mental. It's basically the mind. The physical portion of this one is a ritual. Yeah, please.
It's a bit conflicting on mind. I've been taught to be independent as much as I can. And I have psychologically made myself to be independent as long as I can. I want to be with the family. I love my boys. I love my family. I taught them to be independent as well. You know, and I'm already built up in my mind. I want to live on my own later on, because they will have their own life. I want them to make the best out of their life. I know the social interaction is important. It's just a bit conflicting in my own mind actually sometimes from what you say actually. You know, independence at the same time, social interaction. I would be obviously in touch with them, but not as a, I feel as a burden, if you know what I mean. I would rather live in a social center where I'm happy with the people of my caliber, age-wise and everything, rather than be a burden on my children. It's conflicting in my own mind. I don't know what's the right
Yeah,
solution.
it's the planning, that's what we call as a planning. I have not taken in the book we have written, planning how to age gracefully. And in that, the family doesn't mean the children only. It can be, as you rightly said, it can be institutional place also. There, the like-minded people, the word you used was the like-minded people. So they are your family at that time. So the same bondage which you have got with your son or daughters, you can have developed there also. That's the one aspect. But since we are more used to living with the sons and daughters, we tend to be away from the society. So when I say social means be part of the whole show. The second point is, even so, like a burden, that is one of the very big hurdle which comes in the mind of the elderly. That am I hurdle to my younger people? Am I obstructing their growth? So you must develop a system. In fact, I suggested to some of the people in my country that we have a two floor or the flat with the two floors, up and down. There is a stair in between, and I will have the lock and key on my side. And the older person will have lock and key. So you have your dependence. You are independent and you are dependent. So for lunch and dinner, I will come below. That's what I told them. And if you develop that model, perhaps that will be better. Rather than you are very correct. Sometimes they may refuse to acknowledge me, or sometimes I will have the agitation in using their services because I will very correct one. So you have the independence. So you have to develop a model right now when you are fit. When you are unfit, you don't have other choices. So plan your age and plan your aging. That is what my message is.
You see, I agree with you about planning, and that's the reason I came to that conclusion. I mean, there are many people who live families together and the children, and I can see them. When I look at it, many families, or most families, when the children and the parents are together, the children are busy on the mobile or whatever it is, and they've got their own life. And I appreciate, like, taking the different holidays or doing their own things, which is fair enough. My boys don't go more to the theater, I want to do something else. So I'm psychologically building myself that really will be difficult to meet. It's practical. I'm not being sort of personally, but I'm saying practical for most families. It's going to be difficult with the youngsters coming up unless and until things change suddenly. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because things are changing. You can see that. We go to the restaurant, the family has gone there probably. They've taken their children or daughter and husband. They're all busy doing something else, and you can see that. Even sometimes you organize the groups going out with the youngsters. Youngsters go and sit on one table, you're sitting on another table. It's a practicality. You got to accept it. Acceptance is the main thing.
So acceptance is the one. What we always say, that I can accept indifference from the crowd here, but I can't accept indifference from my children. So if I start accepting that indifferences or the changes in the view, now he may be having a very good view on the business, which I may not be able to accept or acknowledge it. But then I accept it because my interaction with him is shorter. So the crux is that you must have your interaction shorter and indifferent with your family, particularly the younger persons. Don't expect, and it comes from the expectations that yes, he will dine with me, he will have the things with me, he will listen to me, he may or may not. Your job is to give the advice. His job is to listen. Whether your advices are accepted or not, that is not here. So a good structure will be, you give the advice, he listens to it. After that,
Yeah, overall, if we just look into the two aspects of it, this like we have a social life and a spiritual life. So looking into the social structure, there is surely a need of the grandparents or the seniors to contribute in the society. There are many families actually. I'm just trying to wrap up what's been told in the sense that, that we have a society which needs the contribution of yours, seniors with your experience. You have more time, which the younger generation might not have even for their own kids. So looking into that, surely there is a need of interaction. There is also a need of interaction because when we look into many of these data, right, one of the truth is the result is more, the survival of the seniors is better more when there is a bond within the family very healthy. Though the person might be sick, might have more diseases, but still the senior might be more happy finding a good bonding within the society or within the family. Now again, we all are different human beings. Within the family, we might have different thinking, opinions, lifestyle. So of course, being seniors, we will have to think of what is the most possible way of most harmonious lifestyle, right? In some families, there are some who fit well and harmony is much more feasible, and in some we don't find it. So being open to what the next generation is, like how it is coming up to you is of course looking, we have to be very ready for that, whether
Both models.
yeah, so literally both models are important. There is nothing like a fixed truth in this. It is a social structure with diverse human thinking people. Looking into the spiritual perspective, that we say that there are the ultimate ashram is which one? Sannyas ashram, right? Even if you go by after grihastha ashram, there is vanaprastha and there is sannyas. So the underlying truth which spirituality brings here with aging is detachment. If you are detached with your way of thinking, with your way of working, with your way of eating, with your body, you will be much happier. Because even when you guide someone around you, even your spouse, right? You would tell her or him that do this way, and if the other person is not ready for that way, we feel hurt. The moment you're detached of your that mindness, you gave your thought, you gave your suggestion, you guided, you've done your job, and you're still smiling whether it doesn't matter to us. So that detachment, that solitude within, whether you live with the family or in any ashram or wherever, that within you should be, I think, maybe the most happiest person. So, of course, there are different truths of life.
Is the most important, and attachment is the root cause of the problem. So detachment and sannyasam doesn't mean that you have to go to the one. You're within your own family, sitting here, you can be in the sannyasam. That is the way moral. And in my clinic, I often explain to the people, if you start appreciating past, हमारे टाइम में स्कूल में ये होता था. That's a common right. So if you started appreciating past, you are in the past, and you are past. Thank you very much.